Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Team Daddy Weekly Recap. I am Shapiro the Hero, aka the Hebrew Hammer. This week's recap is brought to you by Liberty Mutual. Yes, I am shamelessly plugging myself. Do I care? Fuck no. Call me today for your free no obligation quote. Now that I got all the self-deprecating sponsorship crap out of the way, Week 8 is in the books. And while there wasn't a whole lot of movement in the standings, we did see a lot of teams that needed to win. And a few teams that really can't afford to lose, well, they lost. With that all said, let's get into last week's matchups. The highest scoring team in Week 7, Big John, he just keeps on winning. Rattled off his third consecutive victory last week, beating Kyle Swan's 186.8 to 95.5. John's captain, AJ Brown, almost outscored Kyle's whole team on his own, dropping almost 61 points on Bishop Sycamore. Gee, where have we seen that one before? John also got 24 points from Brandon Cooks and 27.85 from Joe Burrow. Kyle, on the other hand, he just didn't have anything this week. Kyle, man, I really feel for you. When the Seahawks defense is your second highest scorer, you know you're in trouble. Little Swans takes the L and goes to 5-3, while Big John improves to 4-4. Kyle's going to face Armenti next week in what should be a heavyweight showdown, depending on if Kyler Murray is healthy or not, while John looks to make it 4 in a row against Big Swans. Speaking of the defending champs, Swans put up the most points this week as he beats Brother to You 191.8 to 134. But don't let the score fool you. If not for the 55.3 points from George Keepers, Chris Godwin, and DK Metcalf, it really would have been a blowout. Only 2 other players on George's team topped 10 points last week, while Swans got even production up and down his lineup. Now that all his heavy hitters are back off buys, Swans might be a dark horse to play spoiler down the stretch. 35 points from Josh Allen and over 20 points each from Cole Beasley, CeeDee Lamb, Elijah Mitchell, and Najee Harris. Swans even got 18 points from the Broncos defense. That's where you get production. Of course, now that Von Miller's in LA, that's probably not going to happen again, but you never know. Both Swans and George are now 3-5. George is going to play Cheese next week, and Swans will face the red-hot Big John. But you know who's not hot right now? PJ. The commish has now lost 4 in a row after falling to Josh last week, 158.9 to 120.8. This was actually a fairly even matchup for the most part, but in the end, Josh got the points while PJ did not. Josh had over 30 points each from Matt Stafford and Amari Cooper, and another 22.3 from Darrell Henderson. PJ is in full sell mode right now, and with Mr. Discount Double Check on the COVID list, it's almost a certainty that PJ is going to be contending for the toilet bowl this year. Especially after trading James Conner, PJ is now relying on my old draft pick Robert Woods to keep him from being punished next summer. 4-4 Josh is going to face Zach this week, while PJ is at 1-7 and will take on Jed. And speaking of Jed, he had me sweating hard this week. Get your minds out of the gutter, people. I'm talking about fantasy football here. I was able to get the win, though, 161.48 to 149.55. Tom the Goat Brady and his 47 points put Jed in a great position on Sunday, especially when combined with strong games from Cordero Patterson, Stephon Diggs, and Nick Folk. What is this, 2012? That's half of Brett's old lineup. I thought picking Ryan Tannehill as my captain this week would be enough to win, but it was ultimately Tyreek Hill on Monday night that brought me the dub. I also got big games from my keepers, Austin Eckler and Adam Thielen. I finally get back to 500, and I will play Brett this week in the matchup of the week. Jed falls back to 4-4, dropping out of a playoff spot, but he does play PJ next week. There's still plenty of time left. In a shocking turn of events, our top seed, Zach, put up the least amount of points this week. He loses to Daddy Brett 133.65 to 82.55. Now, in fairness to Zach, Calvin Ridley basically said, fuck this, I'm out. And Emmanuel Sanders couldn't have caught a cold in Alaska this past week. Zach did get a nice game from Melvin Gordon and a respectable 17 points from Sunshine Trevor Lawrence. On the other side, it looks like the beginning of the end of Brett's season, as Derrick Henry will probably be out for the rest of the year. Still, Brett scored over 30 points each with Michael Pittman and Tyler Lockett, and he got another 24 from Aaron Jones. Despite a negative performance from the Bears' defense, Brett gets back to 500 before he plays me this week. Zach stays atop the standings at 6-2, and he will face Josh. Finally, we had Cheese taking on Armenti. If I recall, this was originally the matchup of the week, and everybody picked Cheese, including Armenti, I think. I guess Armenti took that personally. Insert the MJ meme here. And he beats Steve 161.45 to 103.15. Once again, Cooper Kupp led all of our Menti scorers with 29.5 points, followed by 28.1 from Deebo Samuel, 21.2 from Jonathan Taylor, and another 20 from Justin Herbert. Steve's stacked team failed to hit projections last week in a big way. His kicker, Jake Elliott, outscored half his team. So much for being stacked. The Giants' defense did hold Patrick Mahomes in check, but couldn't get the win. Fucking Giants, man. Honestly, fire Gettleman and just start the hell all over. And Steve got a combined 14.3 points from his number 2 overall pick, Dalvin Cook, and his keeper, Terry McLaurin. Solid. Cheese is now 5-3 and will play George this week, while Armenti also moves to 5-3 and will play Kyle. Here are the standings after week 8. Zach stays in first place despite his loss. Armenti jumps over Cheese to take second place, and Cheese falls to third. Kyle also drops in the standings after his loss, so he's now in fourth. I move up to fifth with my win. Brett moves up into sixth place, and Big John is now in playoff contention after 3 straight victories. Just outside looking in, we have the brothers Riotica in 8th and 9th, and Swans is slowly moving out of the bottom up to 10th. George is back in his usual spot in 11th, and the commission is in last place looking for anything to save him from punishment. Don't forget, boys, trades are being accepted still until the end of week 10. So if you keep sending offers, if you're interested, just not to me because I'm not moving anything, unless you want to give me a top player for nothing, which no one here is dumb enough to do, right? Maybe, please? Do remember to set your lineups and keep checking them because even if you don't win your matchup, there are still the weekly winners who get money every week. I've got a running tally on that, and I will update everybody before the playoffs. Well, for now, this has been your weekly recap. I am the Hebrew Hammer, and I will see you next time. L'chaim, motherfuckers!